Hello and welcome. You're watching News Tonight on Sabha TV. I'm Rajya. Let's have a look at the top headlines. Government begins process of selling properties left behind the people who took citizenship of Pakistan and China. Plans to raise 1 lakh crore. The sale of 9,400 such properties under the Enemy Property Act. Government says groundwork for rollout of Ayushman Bharat will be completed by July. Union Health Minister JP Nadda reveals to Rajya TV. Prime Minister will launch the world's biggest healthcare program soon thereafter. YSR Congress MPs announced all its 9 MPs will resign the day Parliament is adjourned sine die. Ask TDP MPs to do the same. In Lok Sabha, CPM joins Congress, TDP and YSR Congress in moving a no confidence motion. Trump administration expels 60 Russian diplomats, shut down Russia's consulate in Seattle. Europe also hits back at Russia for alleged poisoning of former Russian spy in UK, banishes nearly 30 diplomats. And Steve Smith punished for ball tampering controversy, replaced by Ajinkya Rahane as captain of Rajasthan Royals in Indian Premier League tournament. Cricket Australia also considers strict action after thorough investigation. A top story. The government has begun the process of selling over 9,400 enemy properties, something that is expected to fetch it a whopping rupees 1 lakh crore. The government has issued guidelines and directed the offices of the custodian of enemy property of India to submit a list of such properties within 3 months. The Ministry of Home Affairs has also constituted a valuation committee at district level on the issue. An interministerial disposal committee was formed to complete the process early. Enemy properties are basically properties owned by the individuals who migrated to Pakistan and China and took their citizenship. The total properties, about 9,280, belongs to Pakistani nationals and about 126 belong to the Chinese. This move came after amendment of Enemy Property Act in 2017 and 18, which ensured the heir of these migrated to Pakistan and China during partition later will have no claim over the properties left behind in India. The Supreme Court on Monday issued notice to send in the Law Commission on petitions challenging the practice of polygamy and nikah halala among the Muslim community. The top court also agreed to examine the constitutional validity of the practice. Here is a report.
7 months after it declared instant triple talaq unconstitutional, the Supreme Court will be examining the legal validity of polygamy and nikah halala among Muslims. A constitution bench of 5 senior-most judges will hear the petitions on the issue. The court issued notices to the Centre and Law Commission on the matter.
मेरी शादी के बारे में उसने पहली वाइफ को नहीं बताया। 9 महीने के बाद जब मेरे बेटा हुआ उनसे, तब वो चीज़ खुल के आई कि इसकी तो पहली वाइफ है, ये मुझे दिल्ली में छुपा के रखता है और मुझसे पहली वाइफ के बारे में छुपाया। तब मुझे बहुत परेशानी हुई, दुख हुआ कि ये एकदम अचानक लापता हो गया। जब ये चीज़ें सामने आई, जब लापता हुआ तो उस पर मैंने आवाज़ उठाई।
The court is hearing a clutch of petitions challenging the practices on the grounds of violating right to equality, bias against women and gender justice. 4 PILs have been filed in the apex court against the practice. 4 petitioners in the case include BJP leader Ashwini Upadhyay. While polygamy is the practice of having more than one wife or husband at the same time, under nikah halala, a man cannot remarry his divorced wife unless she marries another man, consummates the marriage, gets a divorce and observes a period of separation called iddat.
माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 4 पिटीशंस पे नोटिस इशू किया है और इस मामले को 5 जजेस बेंच को रेफर कर दिया है। 5 जजेस बेंच अब सुनवाई करेगी इन 4 विषयों पे: बहुविवाह, निकाह मिस्यार, निकाह मुता और निकाह हलाला। हमने यही कहा है कि ये चारों विषय पहले डिसाइड होने थे, जो पहला मैटर था शारा बानो वाला मैटर, उसमें थे और ये डिसाइड नहीं किए गए, इसलिए इसको सुनना बहुत ज़रूरी है।
निकाह हलाला और पॉलीगेमी हमारा जो संविधान है उस संविधान के फंडामेंटल राइट्स के विपरीत है और पर्सनल लॉ संविधान को सुपरसीड नहीं कर सकता है, इसलिए इसको हमने अल्ट्रा वायलेंस डिक्लेयर करने के लिए पिटीशन लगाई।
According to the petitioners, triple talaq, polygamy and nikah halala violate articles 14, 15 and 21 of the Constitution. Triple talaq was declared unconstitutional in 2017 by the same bench after a prolonged debate. Vipin Chauhan's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now moving on to the big political story. War of words between the Congress and the BJP on data sharing escalated on Monday, with BJP levelling allegations against the Congress of data theft. Congress, however, has refuted the claims.
War of words between the BJP and the Congress over the Namo app. Information and Broadcasting Minister Smriti Irani on Monday accused the Congress of data theft, saying it took down its app after allegations came out in the open. She also claimed that data being sent through the official app of the Congress is being shared with Singapore servers.
जब भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने सच्चाई कांग्रेस पार्टी का ट्विटर के माध्यम से रखा कि उनका जो ऐप था, उस ऐप के माध्यम से किस प्रकार कांग्रेस पार्टी डाटा चोरी कर रही थी, तो तुरंत ही प्ले स्टोर से कांग्रेस पार्टी ने उस ऐप को डिलीट कर दिया। कि सिद्धरामैया जी का निजी ऐप अभी भी आप अगर कर्नाटक सरकार के वेबसाइट पे जाएंगे तो आप पाएंगे कि उनका ऐप उस वेबसाइट पे मौजूद है और निजी खर्चे पे नहीं, सरकारी खर्चे पे सिद्धरामैया जी अपने ऐप पे अपनी पार्टी का गुणगान कर रहे हैं, एडवर्टाइजमेंट दे रहे हैं।
The Congress refuted the claim. In a series of tweets, Congress President Rahul Gandhi alleged that the Namo app was sharing data without consent from the users.
आईटी का मतलब इस सरकार के लिए इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं रहा, आईटी हो गया है आइडेंटिटी थेफ्ट इस सरकार के लिए। उधर आईटी मंत्री प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करते हैं और इधर 50 लाख भारतीयों का, भारतीय नागरिकों का, भारतीयों का, भारत में रहने वाले वासियों का डेटा एक नमो पर्सनल ऐप के नाम पे कलेक्ट किया गया है।
Both parties are engaged in a war of words over data theft and use of services of Cambridge Analytica, the firm that stands accused of harvesting data from Facebook for election purposes. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, YSR Congress said all its 9 MPs will resign on this issue of special status to Andhra Pradesh. The decision was taken at party's meeting chaired by the party president Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy in Guntur district. The YSR Congress said its MPs will resign immediately after Parliament is adjourned sine die without conceding party's demand. The opposition party also appealed to Telugu Desam MPs to resign over the matter. Jagan Mohan Reddy, whose party has 9 MPs, has announced last month that his party MPs will quit at the end of budget session on the 6th of April if the special status category to Andhra Pradesh was not granted. The party had also given no confidence motion notice against the government. After TDP, YSR Congress and the Congress parties, CPM also submitted a notice of no confidence motion against the BJP-led central government on Monday. Leader of CPM in Lok Sabha, P. Karunakaran, submitted notice to Lok Sabha Secretariat and urged Speaker Sumitra Mahajan to include no confidence motion in the revised list of business for tomorrow, just Tuesday. On Friday, Congress party's Mallikarjun Kharge gave a notice of no confidence motion against government in Lok Sabha. Both parties from Andhra Pradesh, TDP and YSRCP, moved no confidence motion against the government recently over the demand for special status for Andhra Pradesh. Now, TDP and YSRCP has been given notice every day, but there has been no discussion on the motion due to disruptions in the lower house. Days after Union Cabinet gave approval to Ayushman Bharat, Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare JP Nadda told Rajya Sabha TV in an exclusive interview that government is ready for the rollout of the healthcare program by July this year. He said Prime Minister Modi will announce launch soon thereafter. He also said that by the end of July, all IT applications related to Ayushman Bharat will be ready.
By July, we'll be ready for testings, and it will take some time for testing so that we stabilize the program.
And after that is the formal launch.
Yes.
Now you can watch this entire interview on Wednesday, 10 p.m. on Rajya TV's program To The Point. Moving on, the Supreme Court has agreed to hear plea by Delhi Jal Board alleging short supply of water from the neighbouring state Haryana. The plea alleges that Haryana is supplying 120 cusecs less water while it's supposed to give 450 cusecs every day. The Apex Court will hear the plea on April 2nd. The Delhi Jal Board has alleged that Haryana is taking undue advantage of its position of being an upper riparian state. The plea seeks direction of Apex Court to Haryana with the issue. Last week, the ruling Aam Aadmi Party had protested outside Haryana Bhavan in Delhi over the matter.
अभी चंद्रावल और वजीराबाद हमारे दो प्लांट्स हैं जो कि कम चल रहे हैं, कम कैपेसिटी पे चल रहे हैं और हम सारी एरियाज़ में रैशनलाइजेशन कर रहे हैं। इसकी वजह से पानी जो 70 MGD की कटौती हरियाणा की तरफ से हो रही है उसका असर साउथ दिल्ली NDMC एरिया में ज़्यादा है और बाकी और एरियाज़ में से हम जब पानी को उसको रैशनलाइजेशन कर रहे हैं तो वहाँ पर भी थोड़ी दिक्कत लो प्रेशर की आ रही है।
Commerce and Industry Minister Suresh Prabhu asserted on Monday that government is committed to increasing India's contribution to global trade in a significant manner. He underlined that India's trade relations have improved with several countries. He also stressed that endeavours was to get several bilateral and multilateral pacts to reap mutual benefits. Prabhu was inaugurating Global Industry Association Summit in the national capital.
All other countries are revisiting the position, the respective position. India, on the contrary, is now trying to engage with all countries in the world and trying to work in a way that will be beneficial to each of those countries and not just at their expense, but we'll try to work out a strategy wherein both India will benefit, they will benefit.
The benchmark domestic stocks on Monday bounced back amid positive global market cues after failing to 4 months low in the previous session. The Sensex gained 470 points or 1.44% to close to 33,166, while Nifty climbed 133 points or 1.33% to end at 10,131 points. Meanwhile, rupee also strengthened against dollar during the trade. Fears of full-blown trade war between US and China kept investors edgy. Time for a very small break. More national and international news on the other side.
Indo-German ties are very important for each other. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier was on a 5-day visit to India to boost the strategic and economic ties. What were the outcomes of this visit and where do the Indo-German ties move on from here?
Particularly the US is very closely looking at negotiations between India and Germany on FTA.
There is a new market that is now opened up, and that is the film market. So now that's a very popular destination, which in terms of people-to-people exchanges is a huge bonus.
Europe and Germany are also important trade and economic partner of India. So we also have to be very, very carefully watching what is happening there.
Right. Mihir Sen, an outstanding and extraordinary saltwater swimmer of India. He is the first Asian to swim the English Channel way back in 1958. And just 8 years later, in 1966, he swam the 7 seas of the 5 continents in 1 calendar year, which etched his name in the Guinness Book of World Records. In 1959, he was also conferred the Padma Shri, and in 1967, he was awarded the Padma Bhushan.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. The Lok Janshakti Party filed a review petition in Supreme Court against its order on the SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act. The LJP also wrote to Prime Minister Modi urging government to file a review petition against the court's order. The party said the Supreme Court's recent order has made the act toothless. LJP leader Chirag Paswan said parties receiving memorandums from scheduled caste and scheduled tribes against the court order. The court had expressed concern over the misuse of act and said government servants should not be arrested without prior sanction and private citizens too could be arrested only after an inquiry.
जिस तरीके से SC/ST एक्ट में माननीय उच्च न्यायालय द्वारा जो दिशा निर्देश आए हैं और उसके बाद जिस तरीके से उसमें बदलाव हुए हैं, कहीं ना कहीं वो इस एक्ट को बहुत ज़्यादा कमज़ोर करता है, दंतहीन करता है, टूथलेस बनाता है इस एक्ट को। और इसको लेकर ना सिर्फ पार्टी के नेताओं में बल्कि पार्टी के तमाम कार्यकर्ताओं में और जितने भी पार्टी का कैडर है जो इस वर्ग विशेष से आता हो या नहीं भी आता हो, तमाम उन लोगों में इस बात को लेकर चिंताएं थी और आक्रोश भी था।
Now, on day 2 of visit to poll-bound Karnataka, BJP President Amit Shah said Siddaramaiah government's move to accord separate religious minorities status to Lingayats and Veershaiva Lingayats was aimed at preventing B.S. Yediyurappa from becoming the Chief Minister of the state. Addressing a coconut grove convention, Amit Shah said if BJP wins majority, it will make Yediyurappa a Lingayat the Chief Minister of the state. The state cabinet had recently decided to recommend to the centre to accord religious minorities status to Lingayats and Veershaiva Lingayats. The move is seen as an attempt to chip away at the BJP's strong Lingayat voter base. Shah also attacked Siddaramaiah government for failing to prevent farmer suicide across the state.
हम चाहते हैं कि सुपारी के उत्पादकों को, किसानों को इसमें से बाहर निकालना चाहिए। मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं, आप एक बार कर्नाटक के अंदर श्री येदियुरप्पा की सरकार बना दीजिए, भाजपा सरकार बना दीजिए। भाजपा सरकार सुपारी के औषधीय गुणों के रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट के लिए 500 करोड़ की लागत से एक रिसर्च सेंटर शिमोगा के क्षेत्र के अंदर बनाएगी, जिससे जो लांछन लगा है उसको हमेशा के लिए निरस्त कर दिया जाएगा।
Now, in a significant move, China has promised to address the trade deficit that India faces in dealing with it. In the 11th joint India-China group meeting on economic, trade, science and technology, China said it understands the sensitivities of India and will soon form an action plan to address the trade issues between the two countries. The assurance came from Chinese Commerce Minister Zhongshan in Delhi at meeting of joint India-China group on economy, trade and commerce. Commerce Minister Suresh Prabhu sought greater market access for products like rapeseed, soybean, basmati, non-basmati rice, fruits, vegetables and sugar. The Chinese delegation was also apprised that China needs to import high-quality pharmaceutical products and IT-enabled services from India to address the trade imbalance scenario. Both countries also decided to address hiccups in enhancement of tourism and healthcare services. Earlier on Saturday, in the run-up to joint group meeting, Chinese business houses signed agreement to import India's goods worth rupees $2.4 billion. Now, China has once again asserted its claims on the Doklam. At press conference on Monday, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunyang said Donglang, also known as Doklam by India, belonged to China for historical reasons. China also claimed there was nothing like changing the status quo. The Chinese rejoinder has come in a reaction to an interview by Indian Ambassador Gautam Babavle on Doklam. Babavle had told a daily South China Morning Post that Doklam standoff was a reminder that no effort to change status quo should be made by China. The process has been initiated to acquire land for India's first proposed high-speed bullet train between Mumbai and Ahmedabad. According to officials, the bullet train will leave every 20 minutes from Bandra Kurla complex in Mumbai during peak hours. The bullet train is expected to cover 530 kilometer stretch at a maximum speed of 320 kilometers per hour to reach Ahmedabad in just about 2 hours. In comparison, train plying on the route take about 7 hours to travel the distance, while flight accounts for an hour. Prime Minister Modi and his Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe last year launched the ambitious project, which is expected to be completed by the year 2022. Now, the US on Monday expelled 60 Russian diplomats, calling them intelligence officers, even as it ordered closure of Russian consulate in Seattle. Washington called a move retaliation against Moscow for ordering a nerve agent attack against former Russian spy in UK. A dozen of these expelled diplomats are based in Russia's permanent mission to the UN. While Moscow has denied the allegation, the United Kingdom has already expelled 23 Russian diplomats. The US move was followed by 14 European Union member states who together expelled nearly 30 Russian diplomats in a coordinated response. Germany, France and Poland have said they'll each expel 4 Russian diplomats. Earlier, Russia said it will respond in kind if United States expels Russian diplomats. At least 64 people were killed and some were reported missing after fire ripped through a busy shopping center in western Siberia. Russia's investigative committee is said to have discovered serious violations in its inquiry into the blaze. 4 people have been detained for questioning so far. Here is a report.
At least 64 people were killed in a fire at a busy shopping mall in Russia's Siberian city of Kemerovo on Sunday evening. The fire at the Winter Cherry Mall was extinguished on Monday morning after it burnt out through the night. Firefighters are still recovering bodies from the smoldering buildings.
На данный момент 20 психологов работают с 17 родственниками, я имею в виду, которые обратились и говорят, что они не могут связаться со своими детьми или взрослыми людьми, которые...
At least 4 people were detained for questioning. With the cause yet to be ascertained, investigators have launched a probe into possible negligence and violations of fire safety rules.
Уже задержаны и допрошены 4 подозреваемых, в их числе руководитель управляющей компании, обслуживавшей здание торгового центра, а также арендатор помещения, в котором предположительно находился эпицентр возгорания. Наряду с этим, по поручению председателя Следственного комитета России,
The blaze started on an upper floor of the complex when many of the victims were in a cinema. The fire caused the roof to collapse in 2 cinemas. The complex that was opened in 2013 includes movie theaters, restaurants, a sauna, a bowling alley and a children's zoo. Witnesses said the staff did not arrange for the evacuation.
Решили пойти, как обычно, играть туда, на 4-й этаж. В эти автоматы зашли, начали подниматься. И там вот такой огонь их встретил, дым, пожар. Они начали убегать, их не пропускали.
More than 1,000 square meters of the center was destroyed. The fire is one of the deadliest in Russia since the breakup of the Soviet Union. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Now moving on to a big international sports story. Steve Smith on Monday was replaced as Rajasthan Royals captain by ace Indian middle order batsman Ajinkya Rahane. However, he'll continue to be part of franchise for Indian Premier League starting April 7th. Smith admitted to his role in ball tampering episode and believes that his move is in the best interest of Rajasthan Royals. The decision was expected after Cricket Australia indicated harsher penalty was on cards for Steve Smith and some other senior players such as David Warner for the role in the episode that has shaken Australian sporting fraternity. Ironically, Rajasthan Royals are returning to IPL after serving 2 years ban for franchisees' erstwhile top management's role in the 2013 spot-fixing scandal. That's it for now. Keep watching Rajya Sabha TV for more. Thanks and good night.